Hello and welcome to Age of Empires 4. Now, this is quite different from what I've usually posted. Not that I really have a reputation of posting anything specific, but one thing about this game struck me. The clutter that spawns when you build a building looks very detailed, it's very nice. For example, my town center here. A few little bushes, the road here and there, a little like fenced in bit. Some grain bags, a little trolley cart. Now, I was wondering, can you use that system to make a nice looking town inside of the game? Now, I've chosen this map since it's very flat, as you can probably tell. And there's no like huge forest in the way, they're all out the way. And the first thing I'll probably start off with is the landmarks. As I need to get to the final age, so the buildings are like the best they can look, to put it simply. Now these I'll purely go off what they look like. This doesn't really fit into a city. This is more of like a stadium type thing. So we'll probably end up going with this landmark. And that will take a little while to build. In the meantime, I need to figure out how I want to build the homes. Because if I build them like this, I believe... Just get a few more people on that, make it go quicker. I believe the clutter that spawns won't be as detailed, if any spawns at all. A little farm which will eventually disappear. And in the first era, the homes are like quite crude. Nothing really special. I have chosen the Byzantium civilization as I believe their Age 4 buildings do look the best. And here comes the arena. Let's get a few more people. This will probably speed up the process quite a bit. Now, when we build this, the building should evolve, right? And now we have quite a little road going around that just spawned in, and I'm not complaining as it does fit in. And the buildings have evolved. They're more square now with shingles on the roof. Now, any good town, as you know, should have a market. I believe any town without a market is destined for failure. Now here we've got a little bit more of a road forming. A little market. Now, up to age 3 we go. This is sort of like an infrastructure building, and then we have a big tower. Now I do think the tower looks quite interesting. So, with the tower we'll go. It will unfortunately spawn youth units for us, which get rid of when they do come. Get a few more villages down. If you get a few more houses down, just to really build up that town vibe. Now we have a population of 15. 16 now. And town is growing. Now once we get to the 4th age, the houses will really change. And that's when they look the best, in my opinion. We start a town on this side. And that one tree is in the way. And I don't think anyone has ever like... Well, maybe it has been done, I don't know. But I feel like this concept of building like a nice town in RTS was quite unique, if I could say so. Now, the house is going to evolve again. Not much of a change, but we do get paved roads now. As you can see, some things are starting to pave in, which is great. Any detail is huge. And then something like that. Now we have sort of a town square looking thing. I think the proper way to go now is age 4. Now we either have this school looking building, well it is a school, so or we have sort of like, this is a Chinese type building. It's a foreign company. I think I'll go with the school. And a good spot for that could be down here, if I use my brain. Now some sort of market square is starting to form. Quite a bit of things are being paved. Now, what if we went sort of closer like this? We do that on both sides. Let's grow our population just a little bit more. We probably won't need many more workers, and the tree has been chopped down now. We still need to actually get rid of it. Once this is built, the buildings will be in their final form. And I just want to see how far I can take this idea of it looking nice. Because usually I'm like, I do this too, but when you're like a heated ranked game, you build houses just go like that. And you don't really care how they end up, just whatever gets it out the quickest. That's time is key. But what if you actually put time into planning? And now these buildings will get a huge makeover. And they look really nice compared to other civilizations. I mean, some civilizations in the 4th age still have mud huts, so. Now, if we go along with the idea of making streets, it should eventually pave in. I have kind of messed up here, but what's this doesn't sit right with me. I should be like, yeah, here we go. Oh, it's just being stupid. No, any good town in a day and age of like this should be equipped with its own monastery. Nothing new there. Build that up north. Sadly, I'm not getting quite the paved roads I was hoping for. We might need to increase the density of the buildings. Along the lines of... not there. But this doesn't look too bad. What about a university? Okay, a castle would not fit in here. I won't be lying. I mean, blacksmith, that's more of like an outskirts building, not like central. Like town center type building. I wish there was a way where you could just like guarantee pavement. As we do have some stuff paved, but it's quite a minority. Just continue this sort of pattern down here. I mean, it is quite a town. Well, not very populated. Mostly abandoned. It's not so bad of an idea. One thing we could do is, this is unique to the Byzantines, but they do actually have cisterns and aqueducts to move water along. Oh, that is a nice garden from that university. Be quite happy in keeping that. We just expand it a teeny bit more. I don't need to go so extreme as to make it take up my whole screen. I mean, some roads are paved, like here. I don't understand why it works in some areas, but not in all the areas. And I think, for my final touch, why don't we get a nice aqueduct running through the streets? No, it won't let me build that. They can't be within each other. To go for something like that, just add the extra details on. It's so far away I can't even fit it all on the screen. There we go. Something like that. Now, if you ask me, this hasn't turned out too bad. And this game does look a lot better than quite a few city builders that I know of. Which is quite surprising. They really put a lot of details into the graphics. I mean, when you're in a heated battle, you don't really look at the individual check-ins of the building. We could do a little crossroads type thing. Would that suit? Something like that. And then... the angle between wall is too narrow. I wonder what the problem here is. Well, it's fine. Now, I definitely think this is quite an interesting concept, but one could use. How would the military buildings look like? Just get a bunch of people on that. I wonder if those come with a road or any clutter. They probably don't. And moment of truth. Oh, they do actually come with pavement. Now that could be very interesting. If I abuse that, should I say? See if we can at least get the edges paved in. Let's get these absent workers or AFK workers doing something. I mean, a little dark wouldn't hurt either. Right there, the edge might be a bit too slanted. And that is quite a view. I feel like everything matches, but it's still, if we could get like those extra roads in, that would be beautiful. I mean, for patches like that, I could in theory fill that in, but I don't know if it would block the bigger building. I mean, that kind of made a little pave there. Now for the great finale, why don't we slap a huge wall all the way around? We go for something. I want it to be relatively straight. Is that? That's not bad. Let's get to work on that. The people on this side could probably work on the wall on this side. The berries are quite annoying. I might just consume them real quick. Get them out of the way. I mean, the port, I'm gonna be fair, it's too steep. I don't really feel like it fits in. I can't wait to put a stupid title on this video like, this city builder is not actually a city builder. Or something along the line. I know that it might not be too interesting of a topic, but it is what it is. I feel like I've just remade Constantinople. If like... if there was like a big river through the middle of the town. We could probably go for a few more buildings to just get some final touches in. But I must say, apart from the fact that this wall turned out not to be very straight at all, it's just now hurting my eyes. It didn't turn out too horribly. Yeah, this is what like people usually build, like see your enemy coming, like 10 French knights at the start, you just go like that, get a bunch of spears down. Of course you probably won't have that much wood at the start, but you get the point. People don't really care about aesthetics, and I kind of do whenever I play this game. I'm not too high ranked, I'm borderline plat, My friend always screams at me for like making it. He calls it you're playing a city builder instead of an RTS, which kind of inspired me to make this video. So shout out to him for a bit more like dense over around the back. This guys need to get to work. I mean, not to say that it came out, the wall came out bad, it's just not very straight. It's planted. I see, like, I've kind of given up on, like, trying to climb the ranks in this game, though. Like, you search up a YouTuber, I think his name was, like, Beastie, and he's just spamming the keyboard to look over the whole map at once, and I'm just like, what am I looking at? Like, I can't even compete. I think he's, like, the #1 player, though. He's very good. I mean, with this, the town is pretty much done. Just finalizing the wall around the edges, and then a few more buildings, and we got a town. Just a little bit more building. I mean, the berries are pretty much almost done, or almost gone. I mean, 4 little extra details. If it would actually let me, I have no idea why I can't connect that. I can do something like that. What would be a good angle for a thumbnail? Maybe something like that, like... I feel like the wall is quite essential to get in the thumbnail. It does add quite a bit of character. Like, if we add, like, an aqueduct through here. Just connect that up. A few more buildings here probably would not hurt. Nope, the berries are gone. I can finish off the wall now. Go for something like... Oh, I hate moving the screen with the edge. Something like that. Probably get another port down here. Just to finish off the pattern. You could call it that. I mean, it didn't actually end up looking too bad. And where this gate is, let's get a wall right there. There's actually a road connecting through that, so quite a coincidence, but not complaining. Final wall. I wish there was a way to zoom out more. Unfortunately, there just is not. I believe. I could be wrong. Final buildings. And that should be it. I mean, it hasn't turned out too bad. Probably add a few more details with a few more like cisterns like that. But I wish maybe like a sandbox mode, like not in the actual game, like it's completely irrelevant to the actual game. I wish it would let you place down clutter like the roads. It would allow for some interesting things. But yeah, with the final wall and this final corner of the town being filled in and there's someone harvesting a dead deer. Great. It has not actually turned out too badly. Final buildings filling in now. I'm sure there's a way you could probably fill in the clutter everywhere, but that would be a lot of precision and a lot of time. And I even doubt this could be too interesting. And that would just be completely not interesting, I assume. But yeah, about it. This is the town, is how it turned out. It's not too bad. Probably the best you could do in an RTS. If you have enjoyed, thank you for enjoying. 1 like would be great. That's about it for me. Have a good evening.